look at me now, look where I am now, you know. Not a lot of people out there can say they've qualified for the Olympics.
Hi and welcome to The Real Women of Boxing, episode 8. Today's guest is 3-time national champion and currently making a bid for the 2024 Olympics, Cindy Ngamba. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Jackie. Thank you for having me.
Hey, good to see your face. Long time.
Indeed, for sure.
So let's get right into it. I think the last time we spoke was somewhere in 2022. You were fighting to stay in the UK and to participate as a part of the GB boxing team. Can you briefly catch me up on what's been happening on your route to where you are now as being part of the refugee Olympic team?
So last time when we were speaking, I think GB told me the bad news, which was that I was not able to join the Great Britain team, boxing team, because I was a refugee and I didn't have a British citizenship, which at that moment I was looking into the refugee team, which now I am a refugee scholarship holder and I've just qualified for the Olympic, which means that I've been the Olympic refugee team for the 2024 Olympic coming up in Paris.
Congratulations, by the way, for qualifying. Firstly, how do you get to be part of the refugee team? Is there do you have to have some training camps first and then they assess you or something? Or is it just you're immediately allowed to because of your refugee status?
So basically, first of all, you have to be a refugee to be able to join the refugee team. And then second of all, I think it depends on your record on the boxing, how many your record and what type of title you hold, or have you won big title in your country? Because I'm based in the UK and I've won a couple of championships, well-known championships. So Amanda Coulson, which was in England boxing, had to help which have a look a bit about the Refugee Federation, which we got hold of them, and then we had to do an application to tell them a bit about myself and why I should be able to join the refugee team. They've seen that in my application, I had won 3 ABAs and the Development Championship, Winter Box Cup, MTK. I had a good record and I've won many, many championships. So it was through them that we done an application and we waited for I think a couple of months and then they were able to get back to me and welcome me and give me the refugee scholarship sheet.
That's brilliant news. Really, really brilliant news. I mean, how did it initially hinder your participation at GB Boxing? And what did it mean to you, to compete in the Women's World Championships through the AIBA Fair Chance Team Initiative?
At first, to be honest, it's because it took a bit of a while. So I didn't really believe they were going to accept me. There were so many key things in the application in my head. I thought, I don't think I'd be able to, to be one of the refugee scholarship holder. To get the news that I was able to join the team and to be able to refugee scholarship holder and compete internationally, I was overwhelmed, happy, full of emotion, but it wasn't just, I was just full of emotion, but the main thing was I was happy to be able to compete abroad. And GB Boxing was happy for me too. So that's when I got given the training partner with GB Boxing for me to be able to still train with them, for them to support me and for me to support them as a boxer too.
So effectively, you are training at GB in Sheffield. You are, I guess, enjoying all the delights that all the other GB boxers get, but you won't be representing GB. You'll be representing, as you just said, part of this initiative team.
Yeah, I won't be part of Team GB. I will be traveling with Team GB, like I said, because I am part of the team, but I just won't be competing for the country.
Do you think that all the other participants in the AIBA Fair Change Team Initiative, do they get the kind of same thing as you in terms of the same quality of training, the level of mentorship, or do they kind of have to go through, I guess, trying to find their own sort of sponsorships, trainers, etc.? Do you know how that works?
When I went to the World in Turkey in 2019, the Women World, I met many of the refugee athletes down there. And even though during the first qualifier in Poland, the European qualifier, I met many of the refugee athletes. One was from Portugal, one was from Germany, one was from Brazil, and they were all pretty shocked on all the amount of support that I get from Great Britain. We have nutrition. We have many coaches out there with us. There's so many in Great Britain in Sheffield down there, and the staff members that I think most of the refugee athletes were very shocked on how many support I have. That itself makes me appreciate how much I have in place for me, and I don't take it for granted or I don't play around with it. I'm very well looked after compared to all the refugee athletes because I think most of them actually have to do it all by themselves or the family members help them.
Yeah, I know a few boxers from around the globe on the amateur scene, and even if they are participating and representing their country, it's so difficult to get funding. It's so difficult to get all the right level of training, and you are elite sports people, and you need that in order to participate at that level, don't you?
Yeah, definitely 100%. We do need that. And at the end of the day, let's not forget, every athlete, if you don't do it full time, then you're not going to get the best out of it. So it's very hard for some athlete out there to do it full time.
Can you share some of your insights into your experience competing in the first international competition, and how does it, how did facing top tier opponents shape your perspective of the sport?
When I first joined the refugee team, I've traveled all around the world for training camp and many other competitions that I've been in, to get the experience out of it. And I'm a people person. I'm a people watcher. I watch people in training camp and people that have been there for many years. They have had like 285, elite competition internationally. And I get to I talk to some of them and I get little tip out of like, how I'm gonna put into my own boxing skills or the way I train, the way I express myself when it comes to like big tournament. Be part of that world tournament, the second qualifier in Italy, in Milan. It was just overwhelming. I came across very tough opponent that have been there for the previous cycle, the 2020 Tokyo qualifier. And yeah, it was just one of those ones where I just had to like listen to my corner, listen to people that are well experienced, and take note and speak to like different boxers that were there before in the 2020 Tokyo Olympic, like Lauren Price, Karis, Galal. I spoke to some of those boxers, and Natasha Jonas was checking up on me too. Savannah Marshall was checking up on me too. But I had many support behind my back.
It's amazing to hear that you have so much support, but also that you're not taken for granted. Because I think, especially in this country, because we have got such a great platform and a great sort of elite sporting arena in terms of all sports, really. It can be taken for granted a little bit, and it's really nice to hear that you are, you're really utilising all the resources to get where you need to be.
Definitely. At the end of the day, I always look at it in this way that you, as a human, you don't know it all. That I love to learn. That's the best thing I do.
Do you find that other participants are reluctant to kind of talk to other, athletes when they go to competition? Because I feel like there's sometimes a little bit of secretiveness going on. Nobody wants to give anything away. But, do you find that that's the case?
There's different athletes that are very reserved, very calm. They just like to just keep everything quiet, just get on with their job. And there's some people that are very hype. They're very hype. They can't wait. They go on social media. They're always updating people, and etc. etc. Everyone's different. I would say mainly for me, when I first started, I was a bit hype. But the more experience you have, the more you kind of understand that. Okay, I'm just gonna get on with my job and let people know what happened after, if you know what I mean. So I think it really depends on how everyone's just different.
So you just mentioned about you qualifying competition in Italy. Can you explain to me what that feeling was like on the day?
Before I even went in there to compete my opponent, I could not believe that, I was on my last stage to qualify for the Olympic. Instead of feeling kind of the pressure or panicking, I was just taking everything in, because it was what I've dreamed and trained for those past couple of years. Just having that feeling in the back of my head that if I win this fight, I'll qualify for the Olympic and I'm guaranteed to go to Olympic. I was very professional, very calm and relaxed. Getting in that ring and having to face, the Kazakhs, I knew that I was going to be a tough opponent that had many years of international elite experience compared to me. We had the plan. We watched her before the tournament in the morning, and we knew what we had in front of us. And yeah, the bell went, and I listened to my corner first, second round, and I stopped on the second round. I raised my hand, and I told myself I was not going to cry even before the tournament. But when I went to my corner and they were taking my gloves off, and I ended up crying like a baby. My hand to be raised and said that, yes, to be said that I've won the tournament, I've qualified for the Olympic, is undescribable. To be the first ever refugee boxer athlete in the entire world, boxing refugee years that I've been around. To say that I've qualified for the refugee team, it's amazing. I basically made history, and it still has not hit me yet, but it has not changed me. I'm still gonna work hard. It's gonna be tough opponents, so we just keep on working, and yeah, just doing what we're doing, what we did for the qualifier, and then hope for the best.
So it must be such a confirmation to you, the journey that you've taken to get here from, from Cameroon, and then getting here, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit, about how you got here and the kind of dangers that you faced due to your sexuality. But I mean, it must sort of be such a rubber stamp that, for all that time when you were persistent, that persistent pays off.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I've had tough moment in my life where, with my paper situation, with my life in general. But I believe that, every moment, every tough moment that comes in my life to do with boxing or to do with anything. Because at the end of the day, I'm a human. Anything that comes in my life, it will not be tougher to the moment that, when it came to my paper situation, or when it came to my, to my sexuality, or yeah, I always strive. I always told myself, work hard, keep on working hard, keep my head down, and just be very smart.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And can you share this with anyone you think might enjoy this conversation? So we briefly spoke about it in our last podcast. One of the things that I think was quite interesting, number one, was I think I asked you about what about the people that say, you don't deserve to be part of the GB setup because of your refugee status. I mean, surely now you must be feeling, pretty smug with yourself.
I think you basically just said the answer for me there, Jackie. Last time when you asked me, I said, I said what I said. Right now, I can basically say I have something to back it up. Because look at me now, look where I am now, Not a lot of people out there can say they've qualified for the Olympic. It's not an easy thing to do. GB Boxing welcome me with open arm. They have taken me in with, with their love and their respect for me, and they understand the skill that I have. They understand my future and what I'm capable of in my future, in the amateur and hopefully in the pro, and not just in boxing, but me as a person too, and how hard work I am, hard work and dedicated, and how if I put my mind to something, I'll keep my head down, and I will keep on pushing through no matter what. Yeah, and other people may think to me, I can't help it. At the end of the day, like I said, we're all human. People are gonna have their opinion. Whether you do good, whether you do bad, that's the human thing. I'm gonna keep on working hard, focus on myself, and there's not gonna be anyone out there that's gonna stop me, because no one stopped me when I was trying to qualify for the Olympic, which is what I did.
You have just proven, and I have absolutely no doubt you're going to do well in the Olympics as well. And you still there's so much more to come from you. But what is brilliant is you've kind of silenced people that may be thinking, why should we take a refugee? Why should she get on GB? Why should she get special favours? You did say that you were going to work hard. You did say that refugees come here and they work hard and they want to participate in British society. And you're just living proof, aren't you?
Definitely, without doubt. I'm a refugee. There's many million of us out there. There's some of them that have not given the opportunity, not given the help they needed. I was lucky to be given the support and the help. And all I had to do was just put the work in and keep my head down.
Your journey from Cameroon to England highlights the dangers faced due to your sexuality. Can you share more of your experiences and how they shaped your determination to seek refugee status and integrate into British society?
When I first came in the UK, I've never had trouble with my paper because I was still a child. So as I got a bit more older and I started going into education, school, college, and wanted to attend university, obviously you need your ID, you need to show your IDs to be able to go to university. That's when it first started, and there was a lot of barriers that it blocked me from trying to achieve. When I managed to get into boxing, Great Britain, I had my assessment with them, and I wasn't able to join the Great Britain team, and they tried to help me with my paper situation to solve it and for me to get my British citizenship and home office They don't want to have any of it. They came to me and told me that I needed to have a good evidence that was written in the law for me to be able to, to be able to not be immigrated back to Cameroon originally. It was really like something private to me that you had always kept to myself. It wasn't something I was very open about it around the world because I think every human have their privacy. They just get on with their lives. So it came to the point where I had to kind of like use every option that I had to be able to keep myself safe. Which, because if I was sending back to Cameroon, number one was I've not been in that country for many, many years. I've grown up into like an adult, and I've spent most of my teenager and my childhood here in the UK. And I would have not known anyone. I don't have any family member down there. Second of all, it is still illegal to be gay back in Cameroon. So I would have been, in a lot of danger, could be killed, sent to prison, or beaten up, or anything else that you can think of on how a human can be in danger. Having gone through so many years with my paper situation and where I am right now, I just thank God and I thank myself too. So I think that it only made me stronger as a person.
Listen, it's absolutely fantastic that you've qualified. I'm really looking forward to seeing the journey. And congratulations again, because you've had a hard road, you've put in the work, and you fully deserve everything that you're getting at the moment. Thanks very much for giving us your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Jackie.